real estate agents. Welcome to the Weekly Closer. I'm your host, Jeff Underwood, along with my co-host and business partner, Joey Sampaga. How's it going, Joey?
Doing good. How are you both doing?
You know, I think that it's going to be a great week. By the way,
Yeah.
You had a vacation here recently.
Very relaxing vacation.
That's what I heard. Lots of audible reading or listening or
Audible
whatever that is.
listening, yeah.
Awesome. That is awesome.
Did a lot of podcasts. You know, I've been learning from a lot of the interviews that we've been doing. And
Yeah.
a lot of the successful agents, they do a lot of reading. They do a lot of audible listening. So I've incorporated that and done a lot of workouts. So I'm learning a bunch of things, and I think the listeners will also learn a bunch of things.
Absolutely. Well, we are the Real Estate Marketing Maniacs. Oh, yeah. And today we have with us in the studio Martin Sears with West USA Realty, Estrella Branch in Goodyear, Arizona. How are you doing, Martin?
Super.
Martin.
Very well.
Thanks for putting up with our little back and forth vacation talk. I appreciate that.
Oh, I actually enjoy the Randy Savage. Oh, yeah. That's.
Oh, yeah. Here, let's do it again. Oh,
Yeah,
There
all
we
right.
go. There we go. So, Martin, let's jump right in. Let's really get started with how long you've been in the business and what compelled you to get into real estate. How about
Excellent
that?
question. Yeah, sure. I actually worked in a housing industry back in Northeast Ohio about 17 years ago. It was more of a retail housing atmosphere like we have today with new builds.
Okay, yeah.
It was in a denser populated area where zoning was very light, wasn't very stringent. So in other words, it was more manufactured homes. So we did that for about 5 or 6 years. I did, and kind of just enjoyed people, enjoyed putting projects together, enjoyed customers. We used to call it the American dream back then, and rates kind of got out a little crazy in the late 90s, early 2000s. They were more or less installment loans or construction loans where the rates were just bizarre. It did not make a whole lot of sense for installment loans when people could do a mortgage.
Got it.
So kind of focused into real estate, started with Coldwell Bankers, good grief, many years ago, and kind of learned from a really great brokerage out of Northeast Ohio in the Cleveland area. I've been in the Valley here for 11 years and kind of never looked back, so I've been doing real estate full-time pretty much my whole adult career, so to speak.
There you go. Okay. So manufactured property. Did you see recently IKEA actually introduced a modular style house?
No.
Really?
Yeah.
Do you put it together yourself?
No, I think that they actually put it together for you. But it's like I saw that it's all over Facebook now. But it's a yellow picture of a house. But it's
Wow.
IKEA is now making houses. I think they're like 80 some thousand, whatever.
Wow, yeah, that's kind of like the old Sears catalog model back in, I believe, in the 40s, 50s, and 60s. I think more or less in the Midwest. I remember some old timers used to, and I actually remember from looking at deeds when I worked in Northeast Ohio a decade plus ago, where you would see the builder or pulling permits was Sears Roebuck.
I got a question really quick before I forget. So are you
want
part
a
of
pen?
Sears
No.
Robux?
No, sir.
Just curious.
He sold all that stock. Hopefully many years ago. No. Well, let's hear what you're doing now here in Arizona for your business to be successful. What are you
Super.
doing?
I'm a co-owner of a satellite branch in Goodyear. Estrella Mountain Ranch is a resort-style community south of I-10. In fact, it is it has been recognized as the #1 master plan community in Arizona 6 out of the last 8 years. It kind of piggybacks from other, it's a Newland community, if people are familiar with Newland developers.
Okay.
They're kind of throughout the nation. They're nationwide brand.
That's a beautiful area out there.
Yeah, for
the mountain
sure.
and all the palm trees they put in, and it's beautiful.
Well, when the market kind of crashed in 2007, 2008, I was fortunate enough, and I was full-time here, and when I moved here in 2005, life was good for the first 2 years. I remember looking at commissions and working in the Cleveland area. Nothing to say bad about Northeast Ohio, but it was just a different beast. It was just different. A home on the market back then in the Cleveland area would be 6-8 months, that's just a lifestyle.
Wow.
My mother-in-law had moved here in 2004, 2005, and she's like, yeah, I sold a house in like a day, and you go through this lottery system and blah, blah, blah. Market crashed, obviously, in the 2007 era. I was very, very fortunate enough to get picked up by REO servicers, Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac, Countrywide, Chase, Old Republic. So I did that gig for about 3 or 4 years, and it was basically just shuffling paper.
Right.
Would carry listings of 70, 80, 90 at a time, and BPOs, crazy working holidays, and they made up for it in volume. Hey, you had to do what you had to do, and it wasn't the best work, but you certainly learned a lot, and you dripped on a lot of people.
Sure.
Around 2010, when we weren't out of the woods quite yet with all the bad paper. There was an opportunity in Estrella Mountain Ranch and I live in Goodyear. I was very familiar with it, doing lots of business up there. There was a little plaza right on Elliott Road, and there was an opening, and rent was inexpensive, and it was conducive to high traffic areas, and so we reached out to West USA Realty, and they gave us the opportunity to buy a franchise, and really never looked back. Love it.
So now, in today's market, obviously a totally opposite market than what we just discussed, right? What are you seeing? Are you working with more listings, more buyers? What are you kind of seeing happening out in that part of the valley?
Yeah, and me specifically, I'm probably 60-40 or 70-30, heavier on the selling listing side.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean that that's where I try to get my leads or where I get business from. I feel like I love buyers. I'm good at both sides of it. I think it's just kind of where I landed the last 2 years.
Sure.
I was so heavy. Your portfolio was just 100% buyers, kind of right around the tail end of the fourth quarter of the whole default, what we all experienced industry in the 2011 and 12. It was all buyer, buyer, buyer. Well, statistically, I'm sure you guys know that people in Arizona, or in Maricopa County, they live in a house maybe typically 4 to 7 years. I think the national average is 7 years.
Right.
And it's kind of one of those, they're repeat customers, a lot of contingencies, people that I've sold homes to in 2010 and 11 and 12. I'm getting the listing.
Right.
And, a lot of dual agency.
Yeah.
So,
Nice.
but it just seems
people
like
you sold to in 2011, 12, 13 is a great time for them to think about selling, right?
Oh, absolutely.
Now, I think the biggest concern that home owners today have, if they're thinking about selling, is probably, what am I going to buy, right? I mean, inventory. Are you seeing even in your part of the valley, really low inventory?
It's low. It's 2 months, 2.5 months. It kind of goes back and forth.
Right.
I'm sure that your audience is aware of the national average is right around 4 to 4.5 months, I believe, of inventory. Yeah, you're going to make it on the sale. You're going to get it's going in one pocket and right back out the other. Unfortunately, and that's really the nature of the beast.
Right.
A house is whatever is conducive to your lifestyle. You're going to do well, and there's that rare occasion where you may find a smoking deal. But we're seeing 14 days on the market.
Yeah.
If you're priced correctly, you're going to be in and out of there and fairly quickly.
I've shared this with Joey, I know, a couple times, but there's a couple I know in the East Valley that bought in 2002. They sold like at the very tail end of 2005, so great time to sell, right? But then they went and rented for 5 years and bought in 2010.
Wow.
So, I mean, of course, now he's asking me, hey,
that's like the Warren Buffett of real estate.
Yeah, I'm like,
Exactly.
okay, hold on. So that's perfect timing.
Wow.
So I think that I've had a couple people ask me about that type of strategy even, but I think the big thing is you're selling and you just you're so used to homeowning, being a homeowner that you just want to go ahead and do like you said, right, in one pocket, out the other pocket, to get that other property. But so what are you doing then to get in, and then we'll move on to the next, but what are you doing to get the business right now?
Sure. I'm getting a lot of repeat business, and this is still a contact industry.
Yeah.
And I know that there's a lot of younger folks getting into real estate, and I'm kind of in the middle. I'm 44, where I've helped nurture some of the 20-year-olds and the 30-year-olds that are getting into the business. I see people in my industry that are in the 50s and 60s where they've seen it kind of do this roller coaster. I've been fortunate. I feel like I'm kind of at that third peak of the fourth quarter. And not to say that I love what I do. I can do this till the day I die in 70, 80, 90 years old. And I don't know everything, but I'm really getting a lot of just repeat business.
Okay. So do you do a lot of phone calls to your database? Do you do you use an email CRM system for that?
Sure.
Or what?
Yeah. You got to stay in front of them.
Yeah.
I mean, it's repeat business. It's not like they're going to just think of me like you think of a cheeseburger.
Not that they just have your face on the refrigerator, right?
No,
and then
no.
hey, we need to call Martin.
Yeah,
no.
I'm not creating the wheel by any means. Same thing everybody else is doing. You got to stay in front of them, whether it be old school mailers. Your CRM kicks out a monthly newsletter. We do a small publication in Estrella Mountain Ranch, for example. It's a magazine. You have to be inside there. Just kind of do some volunteer work throughout the community, and old school signs and flyers and stuff like that too. And good grief, like the Chamber of Commerce's. You got to constantly just keep your name out there.
You say you're doing what everyone else is doing, and here's the thing: not everyone else is doing this. Simple, but effective.
Yeah, for sure. Well, it's working for me. A lot of. It's works thus far, and times have changed, and you gotta the playing field changes, and you gotta adapt to it. So
that's right.
Well, it's just hard work, right? I mean, it's just work.
You gotta hustle.
Yeah,
a lot of hustle.
I think that's the thing that many don't.
That's right.
Do right.
Good supporting cast too. You have a very good assistant. You have good at home. You got a good family that can put up with the kind of hours that we do, working late, evenings, weekends. You got to work. If people are getting into this industry and they want to work 30, 40 hours a week and call it a day, they need to find another job, quite frankly.
Yeah, totally. All right, well, are you ready to get in the ring?
Let's do it, man.
Let's get ready to... I can't say that because then
we'll get sued.
I won't say that, but I'll do this. There we go. Get in the ring with the Maniacs. Okay, what's the best advice that anyone's ever given you?
Just old school, I guess. Don't burn a bridge. Kill with kindness. There's just in business in general, and I think that's in life, but going into business, not everybody's personality clashes. You may have a seller that it was just terrible. You may have a buyer that was just, a decade ago, it was terrible. It was a bad experience. You left on somewhat a professional note, like, okay, yeah, congratulations, and life goes on. But you stay in contact with them, you forgive and forget, and you'll get some repeat business, and it's okay. Just kind of don't burn that bridge and stay the status quo, really.
Yeah. We had a guest tell us what? It's just real estate.
It's just real estate. You're not dying.
That's right.
That was the thing. How about your favorite mobile app?
Oh, I'm probably embarrassed to say, but when you have downtime, who doesn't get on Facebook and...
Oh, yeah, that's right.
See what's happening.
I do.
Yep. Facebook is a big one, for sure. How about a book recommendation?
Either Rich Dad, Poor Dad or The Millionaire Next Door.
Oh, yeah, those are good.
Yeah, that's a good one.
I read that Millionaire Next Door. Now, that's almost like a hypnotist. When you read that Millionaire Next Door, maybe when you're in your 30s or 20s, and you start learning about liabilities and assets, and it can get a little crazy every time your subconscious says, don't buy that or don't do that. So moderately read that one and don't take it so personal, or it's a good one though.
Yeah. Are you on your third set of soles on your shoes? No, I'm just teasing. How they replace the soles on the shoes. Anyway, I think that's from part of that book. Anyway, how about a productivity tool or software that you use on a regular basis?
I don't know. Anything that's into our business, CRM, Commissions Inc. is a good one.
Okay, yeah.
Just things that help us and that everyone else does. Like a DocuSign, so you can kind of keep track and stay organized.
So you're a Commissions Inc. guy.
Recently.
Okay.
Recently. So don't probe me too many questions on that. I just know.
I was just going to ask you, how do you build the campaigns to go out?
Yeah.
No, I'm just teasing.
I mean, it's really
it's in depth, right?
We're crawling right now.
Yeah.
Trying to learn that.
I've heard great things about it though. So.
The big guys are saying that's the way to go.
Yeah.
So money follows money.
There you go. All right. So we are going to have you pick one more question out of the mask. Are you ready?
Alrighty.
All right, there you go.
This is beautiful. What is that, velvet?
What'd you get?
You can read it.
Tell us something most people don't know about you.
Whoa.
Oh, wow.
Well, now you can't say I'm from Ohio because you already told us. No,
That most people
don't know.
I don't know. That's a tough one. I'm a football junkie, but most people would know that. I think in the professional world, personally, you would know that I'm a football junkie. NFL, big college. But in professional, you don't want to mix business with pleasure, but my clients may not know that I love football.
Football.
All right. How about fantasy football?
Oh yeah, I remember
okay.
back in the
All
day, before before CBS and ESPN came around with fantasy football. I was in a group 20 plus years ago where you had to get the USA Today and look up stats.
No way.
It was so. I mean, we're talking a long 20 plus years ago where.
You're serious then, huh?
I mean, yeah, we were like the pioneers of fantasy football.
Wow.
So yeah,
All right.
yeah.
That's awesome.
That's cool. Well, thanks so much for being in.
My pleasure.
If an agent that's listening to the episode wants to reach out to you directly, how could they do that?
They can get on my webpage, Hometown Estrella, or HomeTeamEstrella.com, martinsears.com, or follow me on Facebook, West Valley Realtor.
Okay.
I also have a Twitter, and all that information will be on there. So
Awesome. Well, thanks so much for coming in.
my pleasure.
It's been great. And
Likewise.
Joey, until next time, this is the Real Estate Marketing Maniacs here at Security Title Studio. Signing off. Take care.
See you later.
Good job.
Good job, guys. The Weekly Closer podcast is sponsored by Jake Krabby, NMLS number 877141 at Academy Mortgage. Are you looking to buy or refinance a home? Jake Krabby is your mortgage professional. Contact Jake at 480-442-9291. Jake Krabby is a loan officer at Academy Mortgage, NMLS number 877141. State license for Arizona number 0920357, AZBK number 0904081, and New Mexico number 877141. Academy Mortgage Corporation, NMLS 3113, and New Mexico 01451. Call 480-442-9291. Address 15333 North Pima Road, Suite 205, Scottsdale, Arizona 85260. Academy Mortgage is an equal housing